And he's a big guy, you know.
Bigfoot Wallace.
Sent me on his knee and he said, I had that walking stick. You like that? He said, I'll just give you that.
He didn't need it. He got him another one, I guess.
He gave me that walking cane.
I wonder if he made it. It's hand whittled.
Yeah, he's the one that got the darn thing, made it himself, I guess.
Probably.
But Uncle Wallace was a, I'm trying to think of grandfather.
Well, did you know Bigfoot Wallace?
Huh?
Did you know Bigfoot Wallace?
I didn't know him, but grandmother's brother's grandmother, Weatherford, was a Wallace, and her brothers were with Bigfoot Wallace, and they were related some way, and I don't remember how. I can't remember anything about it except that.
They were big people. Huh?
Yeah, they were. Oh, this.
Yeah, he was a bit. He's in the course history books, but you see, Napoleon and Charlie hunted Indians with him when they were boys.
Uh-huh.
Now this is a horse. Napoleon
This is
horse.
Well,
man horse.
this
Grandparent.
No, father.
Father.
Yeah.
His father.
had Uncle Buck and Uncle Hemp. Papa talked about his uncle, Uncle Buck and Uncle Hemp
Wallace.
And they owned some land in Arkansas. And there's a kind of a creek or something went across. And then on one side of that creek was their home, and the other side was some fields where he was plying. You know, had a team out there in the dragon. I guess they made drag harrows out of logs and stuff. And it came up a thunderstorm, and he crossed that creek trying to get back to the house. And just as he got on the other side of the creek, next to the gate, or water gap, or whatever it was, lightning struck that harrow that he was. And those horses went down, and he went down, and they later on found him, and he had nearly every bone in his body was broken, crushed. Just exploded him. I don't know how he lived through it.
Oh, he did live through it.
Oh yeah, he's that great big giant like a fella, you know. And he lived through it.
He was so strong.
Yeah, and the other brother came and found him. And they took a door off of their barn, and it was made just out of boards like this, you know, and then across that way and one across this one. And they laid it down, and they picked him up and little by little and laid him on that door. He was just bones and rattling all over. He broke. I don't know how the lightning does that and don't kill you.
I don't know how he kept from getting killed.
And there was horses laying there dead. Team
Killed
horses,
all of
red,
them.
big old perching horses laying on the ground dead. And they got him from there to, I can't ever think of the name of that little town in Arkansas that I think where his wife. One of the brothers' wives was a nurse, and she was in charge at the hospital in that little town, where the state of Texas kind of corners up in Louisiana, Arkansas, I guess. Anyway, it's a short name, about 4 letters. So I think it
In Arkansas?
starts with an O, or has an O in it, and a P or something. I know it, but I can't make it come out right now. It ought to be right in here somewhere.
Hope? Hope, Arkansas?
Hope, Arkansas. That's it. You know, where Texas
4 Corners there.
comes out, and then the corners there, right out here is Hope, Arkansas. Right up there. So that's where she was. And they had I went and saw those rails.
You saw the rails?
The rails that they took up, they made the little railroad. You know, that's all black, muddy country. You can't go anywhere hardly with a horse or mules. And they built a little railroad from Hope, Arkansas, up to Mineral Springs.
Mineral Springs.
Yeah, there's a bank there where it's one of these guys worked at the bank. I went to talk to him. His parents had owned part of the land my grandmother's part too. You know, I owned part of that. And I went and found the cattle out there on the land, and I walked it out. I walked all around the whole thing because it had stakes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the land came down like that, and then there's a river down there. They were going to make Lake Millwood Reservoir. That's the name at the time. Now it's a Millwood Lake, and it's on the map because I found it. And
Was a reservoir?
yeah, they call it the Millwood Reservoir. Anyway, that's where I found those cattle on that piece of land, and then I went to the courthouse and found out by the brand from the brand records who they belonged to, and they belonged to what was the name you just mentioned a while ago about somebody?
William
there?
Campbell
William Campbell Weatherford?
Weatherford.
No. That must have been the mother's name.
Patty
Wallace?
Fontaine Wallace.
Fontaine, yeah. It belonged to that person.
Fontaine.
Yeah.
Patty Fontaine? Wallace. That's
Grandmother's
not Patty's
was
name,
Patty
Fox.
Fontaine. She was
It's your
that's
grandmother.
she was part of that family. Anyway, I went to the bank and found him working at the bank. And I asked him how much he had been paying for it. See, Uncle Archie and that son-in-law his went to settle Aunt Katie's estate. And they came back and said that land was all swamp land, no good.
No good.
$27 an acre. And the state of Arkansas was buying it for $27 an acre without the lumber on it, the timber. And if you wanted to keep the timbers and cut it off, they'd give you $29. No, they'd give you $29 for the whole thing, and if you cut the timbers off, they give you $27. I found that out, and I found out that his brand and all that's his. And when I found him, he'd been paying Uncle Archie so much a month for grazing on that land. And that money is no record of it, see. So I brought it up. And Dolly came up with it pretty quick. She probably knew about it, but, you know, she thought, well, her husband was doing it, so she hated to turn him in. But it was right, you know, it was something that they had just kept the money that they weren't supposed to keep.
Who's it supposed to go to?
It was supposed to go to Aunt Kate's estate.
Oh, her estate, and they were
Yeah.
keeping it for lease money.
Yeah. Uncle Archie and his son-in-law, we went to his house.
David's.
Joyce and I went to Grandma's house in Austin, and I met him there. But I already had met him once, but I can't remember. I thought she was the
This
ugliest
is
thing.
David's brother-in-law
And David's sister.
and sister and brother-in-law.
Yeah. But wrong.
Oh, he's the one that signed those papers that were trying to get the house from y'all there at part of Aunt Ludy's estate. Was he the one that had done the illegal lawyer on it or not?
I can't remember that, but he was. Joe Braun was married to Uncle Archie's daughter, Florence.
Florence, she was the nurse.
Yeah. No,
She was-
she wasn't a nurse.
Florence, wasn't she a nurse, or her daughter was a nurse?
See, Kate was a nurse, but I didn't know anything about it.
I was thinking you were saying the daughter. Did she get killed in that car wreck?
No,
The
no,
daughter?
that's Aunt Ludy's daughter.
Okay.
Dorothy Weatherford.
Was she a nurse?
Yeah,
She was. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, she's the one that was going to work, and somebody escaped from a prison in Louisiana, and they were chasing him. And the officers, and they came around this bend, just coming out from under the railroad, a curve like that, and he was coming here, and she was coming here, and he got her side and killed her instantly in the car wreck. It was Dorothy.
Now,
Well, you remember when Law was going to marry her, or did marry? Yeah, he married her. He married Dorothy.
we did? That was
Yeah,
his first.
Law Weatherford did.
Hmm. I don't
And she was.
Then he married Zula.
Then he
Yeah,
married
they
Sue.
didn't live together very long because she couldn't. Nobody could live around.
Yeah.
Tot. She was so mean.
Pitchy woman, huh?
She's the one. That's the one he married instead of. Was it Timmy that was going with him at the time?
Yeah,
Timmy?
that's right. That's right.
Timmy was going.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
Timmy
He
was
broke
going to
her
Laura, and
heart.
then Laura turned
She-
around and married Dorothy.
Yeah, she went off or something after that. Timmy did. Went to St.
Yes, she went to
Augustine.
California.
Yeah, that's where she went.
She went to
Stayed
California.
out there and said she's going to stay for a while, but she
Mend her
finally come
broken
back.
heart.
Yeah, she was just crushed.
Yeah.
And then she come back and got a job at doctor's office or somewhere.
That's how she got into the
Yeah, down at
medical field.
Catula. She was at the hospital. Dr.
Receptionist? Bannister?
That's not right. Dr. Not Banny. No.
Not Bannister?
I guess it was Bannister. Starts
I
with
think
B.
that was
That
Yeah,
the name.
sounds-
Remember, I heard.
Because he was
Right,
in
but
the
I don't know
Catula
really.
Hospital and also in the Delhi Hospital.
Yeah.
And then he wound up buying part of a hospital and stuff over in West Texas. Where? What was that at? I can't even remember. Those things, if you don't write it down, I strip
God.
gears up here and you don't remember nothing. But, no, she was, Timmy come back to Delhi. That's where she got sick and died. Well, she died in Catula, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they took her to the hospital down there because they didn't have
Yeah,
radiation or something.
yeah. Well, I went.
She was in Pearsall, wasn't she? When she was working. last?
Yeah, she was in Pearsall.
Working.
But I was down there in Catula at the
But
hospital.
she didn't
watching-
come to that. I mean, they didn't have Wintergreen Hospital then.
Have what?
That Wintergreen Hospital in Delhi,
The wintergreen.
when did it close?
Winter
not
garden.
Winter
Winter
Green.
Garden.
Winter
Winter
Garden.
Garden, yeah. No, she was in Catula when.
Yeah.
When she died.
Catula,
Because-
yeah.
I wonder why she worked in Pearsall and they lived in Pearsall. Why that hospital didn't have more than Catula had?
I don't know about Pearsall, but anyway, we were down there to see her in Catula when she was on her deathbed in Catula. And she motioned for me to come over there, and I went over in the window right by her bed. And so I went down and sat down on that ledge in the window, and she opened her hand up, and it was crinkled up $1 bill in it. And she said, "Take this and buy whatever it will, and hottest chili pepper you can find."
Hottest chili pepper.
And I said, "What in the world?" She said, "Well, I've never seen a Mexican die with cancer." That's what she told me, and I took the dollar and I went and got the darn chili pepper and she ate them.
Oh my God.
So I'm telling you what.
And when Thyra wanted to get married before she died,
Yeah.
and they took her by ambulance from Catula to that wedding. We got pictures of that. And just before, I think it was after she come down the aisle, they rolled her in the side door.
I remember Thyra.
Who was it?
Thyra, for
Oh, Thyra,
Thyra's
yeah.
wedding, and
Yeah,
then she
wedding.
came up in the ambulance. Timmy did. So remember, she
Yeah,
moved her
yeah,
wedding
I
up
remember
so
that.
she
I remember,
could.
but I forgot about Thyra's part of it.
Yeah, Thyra's wedding.
Yeah, it was
But-
Thyra's wedding.
But Timmy told the ambulance driver, "You're transporting a dead woman." Scared
Well-
that guy to death. He didn't know what to do.
I guess.
I had that old Kaiser, you know, that you could open
Travel
the back end up and it'd be like a pickup
Right, I
in there.
remember that car. I wrecked it.
And old man Fred put on, I was trying to go to the post office to mail a letter in his place, and when he left his place and went down in that little creek, it had rained, and he drowned the motor out in the water. And just before when you get up out of there, right there is Weatherford's house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got out in that water and drowned it out, and after it went down a little bit, he got out and started trying to crank that thing. And he had a heart attack, and he made it up the hill walking to the house. And I was at the house. I can't remember who else. We were eating dinner. We just sat down to eat dinner at the Weathersby.
Is that Celie still alive then?
Mm-hmm.
She would have to been if
Was she?
Lyle and were Lyle and Zula living there at the time? Lyle married Zula then?
I don't remember Zula,
That's
but I
silly.
remember Miss Wedby.
Probably then. Just he wasn't married to Zula probably yet.
I don't think so. Anyway, there was a pickup sitting there. Let's see, whose pickup was that? Anyway, there was a pickup sitting almost cornered up to the window where we were at a table here eating dinner. And he came up and said something about wanting to mail a letter. And we told him, come on in and eat. No, he said, I've already eaten. So we're sitting there eating, and heard a thump and looked out, and he'd fallen and had a heart attack and died and fell and hit his head on the corner of that pickup. He was laying on the ground there. So I jumped in my car real quick and rushed over and got a pad, mattress pad that I had for that old Kaiser. And we put him on it and put him in the back of that thing. And I drove, and they said that he was already dead. So I drove him into Roy Busby was a mortician and had the lumberyard.
Yes, yes.
And I got there with Mr. Quidone, and we unloaded him in the mortuary there where he did the work on the dead people. And I came on back, and then Mally and Josie always deviled in somebody, you know, and he said, Jesse, Miss Quidone, Della wants some Mr. Quidone's purse and his money. And I said, well, I guess he still got it. No, she said there's nothing in his pocket. And then, boy,
They were accusing you of taking it, huh?
Put me in a bad spot.
Scared you.
And
to
then
death,
I
probably.
heard somebody snickering, so I got back to work and listened. And they were making all kinds of stories up just to keep going with it, you know.
Get you rattled, huh?
And I found out that was just they were just teasing, gonna tease me with it. See.
Scared
So-
you good.
So Mally, Josie, she came to me and sat down real close to me, and she said, Jesse said, I never would have thought you did that. And I said, well, look, it was just me and him. And I got about halfway to town, I got to that, and he said, stop under this tree, I will play a last game of dice.
Oh.
And I said, we played a game, and it had dice, and I won all this money, fair and square. Josie said, turn and looked at me. I know I won it fair and square. So
Mr. Fred Quidone, who was a neighbor
Quidone,
over on the
okay.
other side of...
he was a bee man, had some bees.
Oh,
Yeah, he helped.
the bee man.
Dad went ahead.
Mr. Arnold was a bee man out here from Pearsall, wasn't
Who?
he? Mr. Arnold?
Yeah. But I didn't, that was before his time. I mean, this all
Fred
happened
was
before he ever got out of this area.
Well, I bet you if we had that Kaiser at that time, Lyle and Zula were married. Because Billy Ray and us were playing little over there. And we had that Kaiser. And I was 14 when we had that Kaiser, because that's when I had that wreck on the curb. Billy Ray broke our little bebop's leg in the door when we were playing hide and seek. That was before... Maybe that was before 1950, because we were still living over there in that house of Uncle Judge's across, because Mother was helping to take care of Grandmother and Granddad King,
Yeah.
because they hadn't passed away yet.
Yeah, that's
We were
right.
living over there, or they had just passed away, but we hadn't moved back up to the hill yet, because that's where Billy Ray broke Bebop's leg, is
Yeah.
in that bathroom door. We were all running playing hide and go seek through the house.
Up there on the house where Wally broke his arm.
Yeah, right.
He slid off of the fender of the Kaiser, and when he hit the ground, he hit just right, and he broke both bones in there.
That's also where he stuck that seed from that morning glory vine on the end of the porch.
He is always
his
doing
ear.
something
He's
stupid.
got hearing problems today. He's had surgery.
We had a
on it.
morning glory vine,
They put those
morning
little
glory
black
vine, they
bean
put a
seeds
broom,
in,
and
he
they
was
had
about
4 little-
four, and he
Stuffed it in.
stuffed it. I guess he stuck it in there. I don't
three.
know.
Yeah, he did.
And
Three,
he didn't
three
tell
had
anybody.
had one in each nostril and one in each ear. And this
Oh.
one got in his ear so deep he couldn't get it in, he swelled up.
He didn't tell anybody. It swelled up.
Yeah.
The moisture and made it pop. We had to take him to Cthulhu to the
That's
doctor.
right.
And
He
he
liked
tried
that.
to dig it out, and he did bother his eardrum because
He sure did.
he's got hearing problems today, and they couldn't repair it. But
Stupid kid.
And
Oh,
Zula
he
and Lyle lived right behind the store there, didn't he?
well, no, it's pretty far down that road. You turn that little road that comes in to the highway that goes up and down.
Yeah.
You turn and went down that a good ways and they lived up there on the left.
Yeah, well, that was
About
old Weatherford place.
Right, mile and a half or something.
Yeah,
down that
about
road.
a mile.
About a mile.
Well, then, where did the Smiths live in relation to the Weathersby?
Wait, what?
Smiths.
The Smiths.
I thought they lived over here or at the Stewart place. The Smiths, Jake and Frank and all. And
Well, they
Didn't they
lived in the same house that Ned Har lived in at one time.
where was it?
It was where the store and the schoolhouse, and up here in the field was a house, kind of up on the little knoll was a house, and that's where
Oh, they lived behind the store. See, I didn't even know that.
it was behind the store.
Okay.
And that wasn't the Keeney place.
No, the Keeney place is going up here a little further.
Because we lived there when Butch and I were tiny, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right, because I
We're
got a
just a
picture of
little
y'all
block.
playing in the mud.
Mother had gotten us all, both of us all dressed in white to go to town, I think to have our pictures made or something. And the Watkins man, when he used to come around in his truck, came and she was visiting with him. We went and got in the mud. And they got
I got a picture of them too.
in white. All, both of us in white. We didn't have white on long. She said she couldn't. She just all she could do was laugh. We were such a sight.
Who was the man that used to come around with the pony, take your picture? Wasn't Watkins' man, but I can't remember where he was. He dragged this pony around,
I
take a
don't
picture
remember
of him.
that. I remember the old man that came with his wagon that came by the store. I was telling Kurt, you got that on 8
Yeah,
millimeter
that
and
was
Wally put those-
already paved. That
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
paved then, but he
paved.
came through every year almost with his wagon and his little goats and his whatever, and he's turning back, waving at
I
that
told
wagon.
him, I kept telling at him, wave. I had the camera, I was taking pictures. I said, wave at me. He
Yeah,
looked at me
cameras.
and just about getting out of sight. He had muskin in there with him.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't remember
Mexican
that.
man is cooking for him.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten whose family he's kin to. And
Oh, I didn't know it was
oh,
Ken. I
yeah,
just
he had
passed
kin
through
folks
every
in
year.
Pearsall. The man that drilled wells,
McKinley?
McKinley.
Really?
Miss McKinley's brother. That's who he was.
Oh my goodness, he
And
was
they
so
go-
far removed from the way their standard of living.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
golly.
but
He had a
he
goat
That's where
to
Daddy-
pull his cart.
Dr. McKinley
Yeah.
was my
He had a
doctor.
wagon,
and Daddy took
covered
flying
wagon.
lessons with him, and
a
he
regular
was
covered wagon and a pair of mules, and this old Mexican had his camping goods in there, and he's cooking,
They
and
had a goat and seemed
yeah.
like chickens and
I
goat.
don't
and
remember what
just
all
like you
he
saw
did
in the old
have, but-
movies.
I ran and got my moving camera and got a picture of that wagon going by, and he's going, and I was facing the store from across the road,
Uh-huh.
facing the store, and he was coming by, and I wanted to get a picture of the covered wagon coming down the road in the store, but I was going to keep the camera up high enough where it wouldn't show that pavement.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't work
Didn't
he
go
wouldn't,
together, did it?
he wouldn't do
Uh-huh.
a thing. I tell him doing that. Then that's why he was looking around at me, and I finally raised his hand up and waved at
Yeah,
him.
I remember that in the video. It
Yes,
goes
he
out
was
like
Miss
some more
McKinley's
copies.
brother.
My goodness.
He's the one that, what do you call a black sheep in the family?
Yeah, he must have
had to
been.
be.
Yeah.
The rest of them
Maybe
were
he was
doctors
too.
and pilots. And
But he went all over the country in that thing.
I know. I remember you said he'd been through several times like that. I meant to tell Butch yesterday. He's coming by today. Don't let me forget to tell him. Mrs. Ball just died in Victoria from
Oh,
Ball
really?
Airport.
Ball
She
Airport.
was Ball, the
Yeah, Ball Airport.
Ball
yeah,
Airport. And he died several years ago. She was 98.
Good. Oh,
She died this past week. In
No,
fact, it may be an obituary in the paper I brought.
Just about forgot her, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. And I guess she was in a nursing home probably somewhere there. But I don't know what they've done with that Ball Airport out there.
Well, Arthur still he had a tripacer airplane he bought and had it at Ball Airport.
He had both his planes. Remember the little air coupe I used to go up in with him all the
Yeah,
time with the bubble
yeah.
top? And we'd stall out coming in. I told him I'd jinx your planes every time we'd stall out. And he ended up landing that one emergency landed out on the Mission Valley Highway.
Yeah, that was the other one. That was a
the bigger
tripacer.
one, yeah.
Yeah, they towed it on down to a house that he knew, a neighbor that he knew him. So he had a place to come down the public road and then go in his driveway and park the airplane behind there. And Mr. Ball went out there and checked it. And both mags went out at the same time. They have two magnetors on them. All the light planes do. So if one misfires, because when you get in the plane, start it up, the first thing you do is rev it up and then cut one mag off and turn it back on, then cut the other mag off, just to be sure both mags are working, magnetors. Man, Ball went out there and put both new mags on the Arthur's plane out there. It's parked in this guy's backyard. So he taxied it out onto the street, got out on the highway, and not a highway either, it was a dirt road, it was just a street. And he took off and went on back to Ball Airport. Now, I knew Mr. Ball had, I had it not too long ago, probably at least 2 years or so ago, Mr. Ball passed away. He and, oh Lordy, I guess I never will remember the man's name now that I want to talk about him. Anyway, he had a place he bought. It was part of the old Hugo land. And he built a hangar out there, just a shed. And he flew his plane and tied it down out there in that shed. And about a half a mile down the road where his house was, is where he lived. And he took a friend of his. He got all that fishing stuff together and was going to fly down into Mexico to a lake down there and go fishing. So it had been tied down out there under that shed and just a big old field in the corner of the field. And they were warming up and everything. He'd poured the tank full of gas. So he cranked up and he was sitting there warming up and directly each side is ready to go, and he took off. And they flew and started. Just before they got to Cthulhu, a big old rat came out of one of the wing wells and jumped in the cockpit with him.
Oh my gosh.
They opened the door and the son of a gun bailed out.
Big step.
And that guy said, well, we can go now. And he said, no, hell no, we're not going anywhere. And that rat's been in that wing back there, no telling what damage he's already done. So he flew back and landed that airplane. And he had the wing checked out, but he didn't keep it. He went ahead and sold it. He said, there's a magazine or a big paper called Tradaplane, Tradaplane. And he advertised that airplane for sale and made a profit on it even after all that happened. He's older than it was when he bought it and still had rat damage in the wing. He didn't know what was something, He told him about it. Of course, there's no problem hardly if you know how to recover. And they just took the cover off where they could see everything in the wing, and they found that there was a rat nest in there, and that's all. Cleaned it all out and put that wing back together, and it's just good and new. There's nothing wrong with it.
Was you ever dumb enough to fly with Jack Divot?
Huh?
Was you ever dumb enough to fly with Jack Divot?
I don't think I ever got in an airplane with Jack. I always had better sense than that.
Toad did one time. He swore he'd never again.
I'll tell you what, Jack's the kind of guy you read about once in a while in the papers where he was doing some kind of trick and got messed up and hit a steel cable or something and crashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he took those chances, Jack did.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him in one case where Eileen Wolf's son, what was his name? Anyway, he worked for the Jack Josie Ranch, where the silos are back there. And old Jack was flying around back in there somewhere on a little T-20 or something like that. Anyway, he spotted old Jimmy Wolf coming from the barns from the shop where he was working and going out and getting his little car and starting home. So he made a little circle way off over there and watched him, and then came out and got on the road. He got on that dirt road, and old Jack went right down, was flying right down over him. And I was looking at the plane. I said, "Come, I hope he knows that wire's across that road." All of a sudden, I saw that plane jump up in there. He spotted that wire when he was about 10 feet from it. Mm-hmm. And you can't dive an airplane fast as it can go up. It has to fall. Like anything falls first feet, 32 feet per second. You can't make it fall, any faster than anything else would fall. But you can pull back on the stick in the air, make it go up real quick. Well, he was that close to it. Well, he just barely saw that wire.
He should have been dead that time.
I bet he wasn't 10 feet from that wire, and he was right even with it, and he just got up and just barely missed it with the wheels. Boy, I'll tell you what, old Jack decided right then.
I don't know if that's before or after Toe, but he did rollovers and everything with Toe. Then he come down to the ground and just barely missed the ground and went back up. And by this time, Toe was so sick and he didn't care whether he fell out or what, Jack finally brought him back down.
Oh, he would take chances. I didn't like it very much, but it wasn't my business.
He wouldn't kill himself. He's something else.
Everybody was kind of shy of Jack riding with Jack in his airplane.
Well, now, what's wrong with his son? His son is blind.
Who?
Jack Dubow's son. Is he son blind?
Yeah, he's
Yeah. He leads him around all the time.
Yeah, because Denny Dubois is Jack's son. And when you leave Dilly on the 85, going towards Charlotte and so forth, they had a big barn, steel building out there, and what's Ruth Alley's son-in-law? Don Gray. Don Gray was married to Carolyn, Carolyn Alley.
Allen.
Well, Don Gray had a contract, or not a contract, but anyway, had a connection with this company that puts out a real high potent cleaning fluid that if you're a dealer for them, you have to have a big building to store it in, and then you pour it up in bottles and cut it with water, and it sells to hospitals and stores, big businesses and stuff, and they use it for cleaning their floors and stuff. But it's highly concentrated. Lord, tell me what the name of this cleaning stuff
ammonia?
is. Huh?
Is it ammonia?
No, it's got ammonia in it, but it's Lord, I can't remember the name, but it's high. It's a concentrated stuff, and you have to cut it with water about 20 to 1. And they had the truck delivering the concentrated material to put it in their wooden containers or something. No, not wooden. Anyway, the containers that they kept it in that big building out there.
Barrels.
And they're like barrels, but they're big Oh, not like glass, but like coffee cups made out of,
Fiberglass,
no, uh,
coffee cups, ceramic.
ceramic type of stuff. They had containers there, and they back a truck in there, and they have a polyethylene hose. It connects to the valve. It's also a plastic kind of a thing, fiberglass. And then they put it in each one of those containers and fill it full. And that hose, it has a short bend in it right there just before you get to the container. And Denny was off. He wasn't supposed to be working. But when he knew that truck was coming in and he had some new people going to have to unload it. So Denny went out there just to be sure that, everything went along fine. He got out and he was standing there talking, and all of a sudden he looked up and saw that hose swelling up like that. And he ran over to cut that valve off. And just as he got there, that thing blew up and busted his face. And it will eat you up. Boy, that stuff was. You had to get water on it right quick. And so they did. They got water all over him real quick, and he was on his knee on that cement floor. And all that part of his knee that was on the cement floor there lost all the flesh off of it. He had big old long scars on his knees, from his knees down toward his foot. Of course, they washed and washed and washed, and then they sent him to different hospitals and eye doctors and stuff. And I think they did maybe 20 or 30 types of operations on his eyes, trying to get what was left, retina and stuff, all put together so he could see. At one time, everything was just, it was blank, just like you're looking in a cloud. You can't see anything, but you're just white. And so they said, well, that's the best we can do here. He said, there's not one more thing to do. We won't do that. And he said, what do you want to do? And he said, well, I'm blind like I am, so I don't guess I'll lose anything if I go try to have something done to it and it's not successful. So they went ahead. He lost that too. So he lost both eyes. Denny Divot. That's a pitiful sight, and God bless the whole world with him for some way or another. He can keep a crowd in good humor, and the preacher and everybody else when we go down to eat our meal, and everybody gathers around close to where old Denny is. He's sober, and he's a natural born, whatever you call him, funny guy.
Comedian.
He can make everybody in the whole business laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's just one of those things. I know my son Jimmy and Denny were like two brothers, even more closer than my kids were, brothers. And they went all over, and so when that happened to Denny, old Jimmy came from Victoria over here to see him. And he told him, he said, well, Denny, you've got high hopes. And he said, I know you're going to come through this okay, because one thing for sure, when you open your eyes and to see, you're going to see Jesus Christ. That's the first thing you'll see is Jesus. There's no way they're going to bring the eyesight back, but when you die, that's the first thing you'll see. Old Denny stuck with that, and he laughed, and he said, well, when I die, I'll see again. And he said, I'll see somebody that some of y'all may not even see if I don't. And that preacher just fell in love with old Denny.
Did he ever marry?
Yeah, he's
I
married.
thought he'd married.
Yeah. He's grandpa.
No, well, I don't know about.
Yeah, he's a grandpa now. Let's see.
I lost track and I left Billy.
I can't put everything together for some reason right quick on old Denny, but he's got grandkids. Who's the, I don't remember. Joyce can tell you who's the family is that he's married into.
Do the Avants still run the bank?
Yes. Yeah, they moved the bank out on Highway 85 going towards Crystal City. I mean, toward Eagle Pass. Right there. It was, at the time they built all that stuff out, it was on the city limits. About on the line. Yeah, it's James Ross. You know, he had a disaster in his family. His wife died. She's the one that painted. I don't have a picture but I had a picture she painted. And in the bank, it has a big picture she painted. She was a real good artist. And she was the daughter of a big, well-known judge, Judge Wood. You remember that?
I remember Judge Wood.
Judge Wood. Somebody had shot him.
Mm-hmm.
You remember?
Yeah, well, what's his name? The movie star Harrelson shot him up in San Antonio. That's the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I can't remember the details anymore. I used to know the
Woody
whole story.
Harrelson? He was on Cheers for years. Yeah. Well, see, Mitto run around with that Avant girl all the time I was
Yeah.
down here, and of course went to school with Gloria.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun together. Timmy and all of them did. I can't remember that girl's name. 90. 90's the oldest. And then there was another one under her. She was married to Carlton Massey. No, 90 was married to Carlton Massey. The other one was married to a man that was in politics, and they were over in Europe. And she got sick. He was sick here, and they took him over in Europe to doctor him, and he died. So there was two girls in the Avant family's husbands died. Here, did you get a nap or something? Well, good. I'm done.
Bring that with you. Oh, she is.
Have to make a pit stop, boy.
Are you able to step over that?
I'm going to try it anyway. Where's my darn walking thing go?
You hold on to something.
It's right there.
Huh?
In the corner right there.
Okay.
Yes, it is, but that